And now her brain scrambles for answers. Why didn't he chase? Was I even worth it? Did I misread everything? She's not in control of the game. You are. You're not trying to manipulate her. You just want to feel your own emotions. You end up mastering those emotions so well that it makes others question theirs. Because when she questions herself, it's not about you, Isaac. It's mostly about her games and her emotions. And this is where magic happens. And this is unsettling for someone who thrives on an emotional reaction. Because she can't push your buttons anymore. Because you took the panel away. You shut the whole system down. And here's the interesting part. Real attraction, it lives in the contrast. People crave for what they can't fully have. When you detach, when you stop seeking for her approval, she starts to wonder why yours meant so much to her in the first place. And this is when the chess flips. You've become the variable. You've become the wild card. You've become the mystery. And in the world of attraction, mystery, Isaac, mystery is magnetic. Because here's the thing. She starts imagining conversations that never actually happened. Replaying memories, creating meaning in your silence. Because here's the thing, her ego demands closure, and you gave her none. And the absence of closure is very powerful. Not because, Isaac, you are being cruel, but because you are choosing peace over performance. You are not here to perform. You are here for your own peace. And that is a form of control that is so powerful because it will bruise her ego. The magic is you didn't actually, Isaac, ghost her. You just stopped explaining your worth. Now, let's understand why rejection is the best redirection in your life. She said it was over. Maybe she ghosted you. Maybe she told you straightforward. Either way, it hit like a punch in the chest. You felt it in your gut. The emptiness, the silence, and even the disbelief that she actually ghosted, walked away, and acted as if she doesn't care anymore. Rejection has a way of you questioning everything. Your worth, your time, your choices. But here's the thing, which is just the truth. What happens to you isn't that much powerful comparing to what you do with what happens to you. Because rejection, Isaac, rejection isn't the end. It's just a redirection. A brutal and sentimental push away from what you thought you actually needed to what you really needed yourself. Because you thought, Isaac, you thought you were being abandoned, but you were being freed. You thought she was your peace, but maybe she was your distraction. The pain is real, the heartbreak is raw, but the blowing is buried inside it. This is your forge. This is your fire. You don't build strength in discomfort. You build it in collapse. You build it when the world falls apart and you stay standing, quiet, unmoved. That is the kind of strength you need. Because rejection pulls the mask of reality. It forces you to see who really values you, and more importantly, who doesn't. And when that happens, you will gain clarity and illusions will be gone. Because now you've filtered everything and you've gotten your answers. Because now you don't chase what doesn't serve you. You don't settle for crumbs. Now you don't explain yourself, Isaac, to someone who walked away from you without hesitation. And this is the pivot where heartbreak becomes power. This is when you stop getting her back and you start getting yourself back. This is when you stop trying to send that one last long paragraph message and you start getting yourself back. You redirected your energy, you hit the gym, you sharpen your focus, you kill distraction, you build in silence. She thought she rejected you. But here's the interesting part. She unleashed the version of you, Isaac, that doesn't need her. She exposed a version of you that doesn't really need her in your life. And that version, Isaac, that version is the version that is unstoppable. Because that is when you see clarity. Let's understand the weight of the silence. She thought, Isaac, that walking away will be simple. That maybe you will hurt and maybe chase and maybe beg for a while. And then finally, you will just fade away from her life like everyone ever did. But what she didn't expect was silence. The kind of silence that says, I heard you. I just don't need to respond. And that kind of silence, it lingers. It looks in her mind like a song she can't turn off. Because silence without closure breeds only one thing: regret, questions, uncertainty. At first, she may feel free, liberated, right? Like she made the right call. But time, Isaac, doesn't favor impulse. It exposes it. And slowly your name stops just being a name and it becomes a question mark. She scrolls through your old photos, old messages, replaying the messages that she saw. They meant nothing. And the silence hurts her more than your words could ever do. Because here's the thing, you didn't chase her. And now her ego has no closure. That ego that once fed off of your attention, now, Isaac, it starves. And see, she might come up with something else and think something is wrong. It's just her ego. Because ego stirs the negative emotions. Every moment, Isaac, every moment she doesn't hear from you, it is a reminder that you're not orbiting in her world. And that void, that absence, it becomes heavier with time. She expected an argument. She expected a dramatic plea. Instead, she got a man who chose peace over performance. And that is rare. That is powerful. That is unforgettable. Because real strength, Isaac, real strength that doesn't announce itself. It just is. You didn't explain. You didn't try to justify anything. You just let her go. And the weight of that decision, it falls on her later on. When the noise quiets, when the options dries up, when the attention fades, that is when she remembers. Not about who you were or about who you are, but about how you made her feel. And the disappointing part, Isaac, how she threw it away. That weight, Isaac, that weight is hers to carry, not yours. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You even don't need validation. No. Regret is its own punishment. And silence is what delivers it. Power doesn't scream. It doesn't chase. It doesn't beg for attention. It just is. And when you stop chasing her, when you stop explaining, when you stop pleading, reacting, that is when the power dynamics completely flips. Because in the begging, she had it all. Your attention, your validation, your focus, your energy. She was the center you were orbiting. But when you pull back, when Isaac, you stop feeding the system, it collapsed. It collapsed quietly, instantly, and this is where most men fail and lose. You think power is about proving something, flashing success, making her jealous. No, real power, Isaac, is in indifference. Not because you don't feel anything, but because your feelings don't control your actions. And that, Isaac, that is stoicism. So terrifying to someone who is used to pulling your strings. Now she feels the shift. Suddenly you're not where she left you. That energy that you used to pour in hers, now you are pouring it in yourself. Your health, your mission, your success, your growth. And whether she admits it or not, Isaac, she notices, she senses it. And that, it shakes her. It shakes her because now you are not emotionally dependent on her. You are just emotionally free. And gentlemen, if you have watched up to this point, let's have peace. And until next time, ciao.